Chris, with that down and out of the way, let's move on to the next main topic today. Chris, what is our third main topic today?
Third topic's coming from Sean Clegg. Hey, John, I just read that Stranger Things star Millie Bobby Brown just joined Marvel's The Eternals. And I personally love this casting. I love her as Eleven in Stranger Things, and I can't wait to finally see her with Marvel. I just got more excited for this movie. What do you think of the casting? Thanks. So what do you think of the casting, and who do you think she's going to be cast as?
Well, I mean, I guess the first thing we got to point out here is the obvious. This hasn't been confirmed by anybody yet. And by the way, all the headlines you're seeing that Millie Bobby Brown is going to be in this movie, it all comes from one line in one report that everybody took and ran with. Understandably so, because the one line from the one report is on Variety, but it wasn't their headline. Here's what we got from Variety. This is what they said in the report, and this is where all the headlines are coming from. Supreme Geek and Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige is expected to unveil brand new franchise starters at the convention, talking about Comic-Con that comes up next week. At the convention in late July. Chief among them is The Eternals, a series about godlike alien beings to be adapted by indie director Chloe Zhao from The Riddler, which has widely been reported to star Angelina Jolie, Kumail Nanjiani, and Richard Madden, as well as Stranger Things lead Millie Bobby Brown. That's it. This, for the first time ever, in this throwaway line in a story that wasn't even about the casting, it was a story about what's Marvel going to do at Comic-Con next week. It's blah, 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 at the bottom of, last line, bottom of paragraph 3, as well as Stranger Things lead Millie Bobby Brown. Blah, 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 and then they move on. It's like, wait, what? So understandably, because this is coming from Variety, a lot of sites took on that and they're making headlines out of it. And I get it. I do. I completely understand that because it is coming from Variety after all. I'm just saying, and I'm not saying we shouldn't believe it. All I'm saying at this point is let's just keep in mind that this was coming from final line of paragraph 3 of an article that was about something else. And now is being carried by other people for understandable reasons. I get it. Let's say it's true. Let's go on the assumption that it's true. And then next week at Comic-Con, Kevin Feige comes out and confirms this. He says, yeah, this is our cast for the Eternals, blah, 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 blah. And by the way, Keanu Reeves is also rumored to be in the film as well. So we'll find that out for sure next week as well. So let's assume for a second that this is true and this is real. Let me stay on my pattern today. Let me stay on the theme today of John saying unpopular things. I am not sold on Millie Bobby Brown as an actress yet. And here's why. I've seen her play one character, and that's in Stranger Things. And it's a certain type of character where, while I love the character, it's hard to tell if the person playing the character is, you know what I mean? Because of the nature of 11, right? With the nature of 11, it makes it difficult to tell, is this somebody with a lot of acting talent or not? I can't really tell. So my only other exposure to Millie Bobby Brown is in Godzilla. That's my only other exposure to her. And I wasn't all that impressed with her in Godzilla. Now, granted, I didn't like the film overall, but I really wasn't that impressed with her in that one movie. So I don't want to make too big of a deal of that because I've really, outside of Stranger Things, I've seen her in one thing. And it was a movie that wasn't all that good to start with, so I don't want to judge anybody who was in it too harshly. All I'm saying right now is, as of right now, I think the best way to put it, Aaron, is that I haven't been, I'm not sold on Millie Bobby Brown yet. I'm not sold on her yet. Now, granted, recently, I wasn't sold on Zendaya either. I didn't like her all that much in Homecoming, all that kind of stuff. But I thought she was actually pretty good in The Greatest Showman. And then I saw her in Far From Home, and I'm like, okay, now I'm sold on her. And maybe that'll be the case with Millie Bobby Brown. But right now, if they do announce her, I'll be intrigued and I'll be open-minded. But admittedly, my first reaction won't be one of excitement because, again, right now, I'm just not sold on her yet. And I'm not crap talking her. I'm just saying my exposure to her is limited. This is where I'm at right now. Anyway, you're hearing about this rumor about her possibly joining this next big MCU film, maybe joining the likes of Kumail Nanjiani, Angelina Jolie, Christopher Reeve, Keanu Reeves. That would be a headline if Christopher Reeve was a major headline.
I would watch that.
But I don't know, you hear about this. What's your first reaction?
Well, I'm glad that you said it and not me because I don't want the arrows and daggers pointed in my direction, but I will happily take them. I got to agree with you, John. I'm not convinced yet. And the only issue actually that I had with season 3 of Stranger Things, which I loved and I binged obsessively, was the fact that, like, why is 11 still speaking in one-word sentences? Hasn't she been speaking for a while now? Like, she should, I mean, I know 2-year-olds that can construct better sentences than 11 is doing right now. So I'm a little confused, but that's not her fault.
That's the writing. That's the writing,
sure. That being said, I don't understand. I don't think that we have seen enough of her. What I would rather see her do instead of a Marvel movie where she's probably going to be stuck in a same kind of character world, a similar character is what I'm trying to say. I would like for her to do an indie drama or something like not Juno, because I think it's a little too mature, but
a path like Emma Watson took after Harry Potter.
Right, exactly. I want to see her go in a completely different direction as an actress so that she does not get boxed in and that she does not get limited in the way that Steven Seagal did. Bringing it back, drinking the Seagal juice. So I really want to see her do something completely different. And then maybe 5 years from now, she revisits that world of someone with superpowers and does a Marvel movie then. I just don't think that it's the right time for her. But I do think it's kind of weird that the Variety article is the only place that's mentioned, but it said widely reported that these are the people in it. Well, if it's widely reported,
I never seen that.
Right, if it's widely reported, where was it? Right, maybe it was widely reported that Angelina Jolie was in it, but this Stranger Things business, that the Millie Bobby Brown part is a little bit of a new story.
Chris, I mean, I know as somebody who after the earthquake on the 4th of July, you went and did a Stranger Things binge with people. And again, let me emphasize here. I enjoy her in Stranger Things. I just think it's one of those roles where it's hard to tell if somebody's quite good in it or if it's just a role. And I've only seen her in just one other thing. Maybe she's fantastic. Maybe she'll do great in Eternals. Again, I'm just saying I'm not sold. But as somebody who's a big fan of Stranger Things and somebody who's a big fan of the MCU, what's your first reaction when you hear about this possible casting?
You know, I'm kind of excited about it. And while Stranger Things, we're not sure about her acting maybe here with you guys. I love the idea of her not being able to speak in full sentences still. It makes me think of that Parks and Rec line. Are you Nell? From the movie Nell? But what I think is interesting here is the potential of who she'd be playing in the Eternals.
Right.
Because what most people are speculating based on her age is that she'd be kind of a gender-swapped version of the character Sprite, who was said to inspire William Shakespeare's Puck, is a trickster, is a more goofy, kind of deceivious character than what we've seen her play in Stranger Things, obviously. She can't lie, and friends don't lie. She'd do a completely different character. She'd be a small child Loki.
Right.
She still would have telekinetic powers, though. So that's another reason why I think people have been making this jump of, well, who's a small person right now? Who's a kid who could play someone with telekinesis? Oh, that girl who's 11. Yeah. Anyone can play that, guys. It's not real. Anyone could do it. Just because she's doing those nosebleeds, those aren't real either. She's not nosebleeding on cue. So
that would be great method acting, though.
That'd be incredible.
That would be amazing. If she could nosebleed,
if she could Uta Hagen a nosebleed,
I can't tear on demand, let alone nosebleed on demand. That would be impressive.
I can do it too.
I was gonna say.
So I don't know, guys. What do you think about this? Are you kind of like with me on this? It's like, hey, you know, it's just I don't know enough yet to be either excited or turned off by it. Are you thinking, no way, man? I just adore her. I loved her in Godzilla. I loved her in Stranger Things, and you're all for it. Are you just maybe taking more of an optimistic approach that, you know what? I just trust the casting of Marvel. If they cast her, that means she's the right person for it. Let me know what you guys think. Jump down in the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.